Have you ever sat down for a meal, looked at your plate, and wondered, is this really good for me? If you're living with diabetes, or even if you're just trying to avoid it, it can feel like every bite is a decision. A good one, or a not so good one. And let's be honest, with all the advice out there, it gets overwhelming fast. One day they say eggs are bad, the next day they're good again. Sugar-free this, low-carb that. It's enough to make your head spin. But here's the thing, eating well with diabetes doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't mean giving up all your favorite foods or surviving on dry toast and steamed broccoli. It's about making smarter choices, one meal at a time, and understanding how certain foods can either support your blood sugar or send it for a wild ride. So, if you've been wondering, what should I eat to feel better, stay strong, and keep my blood sugar steady? You're in the right place. In this video, we're going to talk about exactly that, the foods to eat and the ones to avoid when you have diabetes, especially if you're over 60. Because your body changes with age, and what worked when you were 40 doesn't always work now. But the good news? With a few simple shifts, you can still enjoy your meals and feel your best. Let's start with something many people don't think about, your breakfast. Mornings are powerful. What you eat first thing sets the tone for your whole day. If you start off with a sugary cereal or a white bread toast with jam, you might feel a burst of energy, but it won't last. Within an hour or two, you're tired, maybe irritable, and your blood sugar has taken a roller coaster ride. Instead, think about a breakfast that's kind to your body. One that fuels you gently and steadily. A bowl of steel-cut oats, for example, topped with a few slices of banana or berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon, that's a wonderful start. The oats give you fiber, which helps slow down how sugar enters your blood. The berries add sweetness without spiking your sugar. And cinnamon? Believe it or not, it may actually help your body use insulin better. Another solid choice? Eggs. Scrambled, boiled, or turned into a veggie-packed omelet. Eggs are high in protein, which helps you feel full longer, and they don't raise your blood sugar like a piece of toast or a muffin will. If you pair your eggs with a few slices of avocado and some sautéed spinach or mushrooms, now you've got a powerhouse meal that tastes great and keeps your energy nice and even. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but I love my toast. My coffee and toast in the morning, it's been my routine for 40 years. And I hear you. The goal isn't to take away everything you love. It's to find better versions. So if you're a toast lover, try switching to whole grain or sprouted bread. These types of bread are digested more slowly and won't cause your blood sugar to spike as quickly. Top it with natural peanut butter instead of jam, or a little cottage cheese with cucumber slices. Speaking of peanut butter, that brings me to another important point, fat. Not all fat is the enemy. In fact, healthy fats can be your best friend when you have diabetes. They slow digestion, which means sugar gets absorbed more gradually. That helps prevent those big blood sugar spikes that leave you feeling wiped out. Think olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon. Let's take a moment to talk about salmon. If you've never been a big fish eater, now's a great time to start. Salmon is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are wonderful for your heart, and heart health is something every person with diabetes needs to care about. Diabetes can make your blood vessels more vulnerable, so eating foods that protect them is key. A baked piece of salmon with a side of roasted veggies and a handful of quinoa is not only delicious, it's doing something good for your body with every bite. Now, I know that for many people, lunch is where the trouble starts. Maybe you're out and about, maybe you didn't plan ahead, and suddenly a fast food sandwich or a sugary drink feels like the easiest choice. But those quick fixes often leave you feeling worse. Instead, think simple. Think homemade. A big salad loaded with colorful vegetables, some grilled chicken, a handful of walnuts, and a drizzle of olive oil and vinegar, that's not just healthy, it's satisfying. You get crunch, flavor, and protein, all without the crash. One thing to watch out for during lunch, and really, all day, is the sneaky sugar hiding in your drinks. A lot of people don't realize how quickly a sweetened iced tea or soda can spike your blood sugar. Even fruit juice, which sounds healthy, can be a sugar bomb. Imagine drinking the juice of 4 or 5 oranges in one glass. It's a lot for your body to handle, especially all at once. Instead, go for water with lemon, or if you need something bubbly, try sparkling water with a splash of cranberry or lime. Herbal teas are another great option, warm, soothing, and totally sugar-free. And let me say this, just in case no one has told you lately, you don't have to be perfect. You don't need to follow a strict diet or never touch dessert again. What matters most is consistency. Making better choices most of the time. Allowing yourself small indulgences here and there, without guilt, because balance is what keeps you going, not restriction. Now, let's talk about one more thing before we move on, snacks. Because when you're over 60, snacking smart is more important than ever. Your metabolism slows down, your muscle mass can start to shrink, and what you eat in between meals really does matter. A good snack can give you steady energy, help you stay active, and prevent those dips in blood sugar that make you feel shaky or cranky. So instead of reaching for cookies or crackers, think about something with protein and fiber. A handful of almonds, a piece of cheese with a few apple slices, or even plain Greek yogurt with a little cinnamon, these are snacks that nourish you without the sugar rush. Alright, we've covered a lot so far, from breakfast choices to better snacks, and why healthy fats and smarter drinks matter. The truth is, small changes really can lead to big improvements. It's not about going on a diet. It's about living a lifestyle that supports your energy, your blood sugar, and your happiness. Now that we've laid the groundwork with some of these everyday food choices, let's keep going and look a little deeper at some of the biggest food traps, and what to swap them with instead. Now that we've peeled back some of those everyday choices, let's look a little closer at the sneaky sugars and refined carbs hiding in plain sight, and how to swap them without feeling deprived. You know that glazed donut at the coffee shop or the white pasta you love for dinner? Those are the culprits that send your blood sugar soaring, only to leave you sprawled on the couch an hour later, wondering where all your energy went. Imagine this, you're grocery shopping on a Saturday morning, list in hand, feeling proud of yourself for planning ahead. You reach for that bag of rice, but instead of the usual white variety, you grab a bag of brown basmati, or even better, a bag of mixed ancient grains. They look hearty, almost like little pebbles of history in your pantry. Those grains may take an extra minute to cook, but every bite of their nutty flavor rewards you with steady energy and a gentler rise in blood sugar. And it's not only grains. Think about what's showing up on your plate as a side dish. Instead of scooping up a big pile of mashed potatoes, why not try mashed cauliflower mixed with a touch of Greek yogurt and garlic? It's creamy, it's comforting, just like the real thing, but it won't send your glucose levels on a roller coaster. If you're craving pasta, spiralized zucchini or a lentil-based pasta can fill you up just as well, especially when tossed with olive oil, garlic, and a sprinkle of Parmesan. Your body, and your taste buds, will thank you for the change. Let's talk sauces and condiments next, because even when you think you're making a healthy choice, those little bottles can undo your best efforts. Take ketchup, for instance. A single tablespoon can have as much sugar as a teaspoon of candy. It sneaks into marinades, glazes, and dipping sauces, turning a simple grilled chicken into a sugar trap. The fix? Make your own tomato sauce with canned no-salt tomatoes, herbs, and a dash of balsamic vinegar. It takes 5 minutes to stir on the stove, and you control every ingredient. If you want something sweet, stir in a little mashed strawberries or pureed dates. Barbecue sauce? Swap it for a mix of mustard, apple cider vinegar, and smoked paprika, tangy, smoky, and sugar-free. Then there are salad dressings. Bottled versions often hide sugar or corn syrup under names like evaporated cane juice. Instead, shake together olive oil, lemon juice, Dijon mustard, and a teaspoon of plain yogurt. Pour it over a big bowl of greens, colorful bell peppers, and shredded cabbage, and suddenly salad feels like a celebration rather than a chore. Not every swap has to be fancy. Sometimes it's simply about having the confidence to step away from the condiment aisle and into your own kitchen, where you're the chef and the portion controller. Speaking of portions, this is where mindful eating becomes a superpower. After 60, our appetites and metabolisms shift. What once filled us up might now leave us wanting more, and vice versa. But portion control isn't about tiny bites that leave you feeling hungry, it's about tuning into your body's signals. Picture your dinner plate divided into quarters, not rigidly, but as a gentle guideline. One quarter loaded with lean protein like turkey or tofu, another quarter with whole grains or legumes, and the remaining half overflowing with non-starchy vegetables, broccoli, carrots, leafy greens. When you plate your food this way, you naturally get a balanced mix of protein, fiber, and nutrients. And because fiber and protein both keep you feeling full longer, you're less tempted to reach for that extra handful of chips afterward. Another trick I love is to put your fork down between bites. It sounds simple, almost too simple to matter, but it gives your brain a chance to catch up with your stomach. Chew thoroughly, savor the flavors, and notice how your hunger shifts from "I need more" to "I'm satisfied." It can turn a rushed meal into a mini mindful moment, and these moments add up, helping you maintain a healthy weight and stable blood sugar over time. Now, what about the occasional night out or social gathering? You don't have to avoid celebrations just because you have diabetes. If you're offered a piece of birthday cake or a cocktail, think of it as a treat, not a free-for-all. Choose a smaller portion, a single scoop of ice cream instead of two, a wine spritzer instead of a sugary mixed drink, and pair it with a glass of water. Sipping slowly, alternating between your treat and water, gives you the pleasure you want without overwhelming your system. You'll still join in the fun, toast with friends, and even enjoy that birthday candle blowout, all while keeping your blood sugar more in check. Let's not forget reading labels. It may feel tedious at first, but it's an investment in your health. When you pick up that box of crackers or that granola bar, flip it over and look at the total carbohydrates and fiber. Subtract the fiber from the carbs to get the net carbs, which tells you how much is likely to impact your blood sugar. Aim for snacks or foods with higher fiber content, and preferably under 15 grams of net carbs per serving. Over time, you'll start spotting hidden sugars and understanding which products fit into your new routine, and you'll do it all in a few seconds, like a seasoned pro. All of these steps, swapping refined grains, making sauces at home, mastering portion control, enjoying treats mindfully, and reading labels, might feel like a lot at first. But remember, you don't have to tackle them all at once. Pick one. Maybe start by swapping your white rice for brown, or by mixing up your own salad dressing. Once that becomes second nature, move on to the next. Each small change builds on the last, until one day you look back and realize you're eating in a way that's sustainable, satisfying, and truly supportive of your diabetes management. Next, we'll dive into one last key tip on how to enjoy your favorite sweet treats without sending your blood sugar sky high. Imagine this: afternoon sunlight streaming through your window, and you find yourself reaching for something sweet. That familiar urge doesn't have to be your enemy. In fact, with just a little creativity, you can enjoy desserts and treats without watching your blood sugar skyrocket. One of my favorite tricks is to embrace the natural sweetness of whole fruits. A handful of fresh berries, for example, can feel like the perfect ending to a meal, juicy, colorful, and brimming with fiber. You'll find that the fiber in strawberries or blueberries slows down how quickly their natural sugars hit your bloodstream, giving you that sweetness without the crash. But let's say you crave something richer, like chocolate. Dark chocolate, look for bars that are at least 70% cocoa, can be a wonderful ally. A square or two savored slowly can satisfy your sweet tooth while exposing you to antioxidants that support heart health. Pair that little piece of chocolate with a few almonds or walnuts, and you've got a satisfying mini snack that blends healthy fats, protein, and just enough sweetness. If you're looking to bake at home, try swapping out some of the sugar in your recipes for mashed bananas or unsweetened applesauce. You'll still get that lovely, comforting texture in your muffins or cookies, with fewer added sugars. And when a recipe calls for white flour, consider using a mix that includes whole wheat pastry flour or almond flour. These swaps boost the fiber and protein content, so each bite breaks down more slowly, and your body thanks you for it. After treats, it's a good idea to sip on something hydrating. Sometimes our bodies confuse thirst with hunger or sugar cravings, especially as we get older. Keeping a glass of water or herbal tea nearby can not only help you stay hydrated but also give you a moment to pause and check in with your body. You might realize you're really just a bit thirsty, and that craving fades on its own. Moving beyond sweets, it's important to remember that carbs aren't the enemy, they're simply fuel that needs to be chosen wisely. One category often overlooked is legumes, beans, lentils, and chickpeas. These humble pantry staples are packed with protein, fiber, and a host of vitamins and minerals. A simple lentil soup, seasoned with garlic and turmeric, can be as comforting as any bowl of stew, with the added benefit of keeping your blood sugar more stable than a potato-heavy alternative. A salad sprinkled with chickpeas, chopped cucumbers, tomatoes, and a drizzle of olive oil feels hearty and nourishing. And when you add a squeeze of lemon and a handful of fresh herbs, parsley, mint, or cilantro, you elevate the flavors without tacking on hidden sugars or unhealthy fats. Speaking of herbs and spices, they're a secret weapon in your kitchen. Cinnamon, as we mentioned, has a lovely sweet spicy warmth and may help your body process insulin more effectively. Turmeric brings a golden hue and powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Ginger adds zest and can soothe digestion. Don't be shy, experiment with sprinkling these spices into your soups, stews, and smoothies. You'll discover that seasoning can do as much for your meals as sugar or salt ever did, but without the unwanted effects on your blood sugar or blood pressure. Let's not forget vegetables, the unsung heroes of every meal. Non-starchy veggies, broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, leafy greens, should fill half your plate whenever possible. But beyond the usual suspects, consider colorful peppers, eggplant, and Brussels sprouts. Roasted with a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of your favorite herbs, they become irresistible. If you're craving something creamy, try mashing cooked cauliflower and parsnips with a little garlic and a touch of Greek yogurt. It's a guilt-free way to get that comfort food vibe without compromising your glucose control. And while we're on the topic of comfort, it's worth mentioning bone broth or homemade soups. They're gentle on the digestive system and can be customized with veggies, legumes, and lean proteins. A cup of warm broth in the evening can be both soothing and satisfying, especially when you top it off with fresh herbs or a few drops of extra virgin olive oil for richness. By now, you've gathered a toolbox of ideas: natural fruit for sweetness, dark chocolate in moderation, creative baking swaps, legumes for steady energy, herbs and spices for flavor, and an abundance of vegetables to fill you up. What ties it all together is your mindset. Instead of thinking about what you're giving up, focus on what you're gaining: more energy, steadier moods, and the freedom to enjoy your favorite flavors without fear. Before we wrap up, let me share one more tip that doesn't involve food but makes a world of difference: stay active. A short walk after meals helps your body use glucose more efficiently. Gardening, dancing in your living room, or even gentle stretching can keep your muscles and metabolism humming along. Pair that movement with your smart eating choices, and you're creating a powerful combination that supports both your blood sugar and your overall well-being. Now that we've explored these final strategies, take a moment to imagine how they might fit into your own life. See yourself sipping herbal tea after a small dessert, or sprucing up your favorite muffin recipe with mashed banana. Picture a lentil salad in your lunchbox or a bowl of colorful roasted veggies at dinner. Feel the difference in your energy levels, the steadiness in your mood, and the confidence that comes from knowing you're taking charge of your health. Thank you for spending this time with me and for being committed to making your meals work for you. I hope you feel inspired to try these ideas in your kitchen and see how delicious managing diabetes can be. If you have a favorite swap or a go-to recipe, share it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences and tips. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more practical advice and warm conversations ahead, all designed to help you live your best life at any age. Here's to enjoying every bite, savoring every moment, and thriving with diabetes, because having diabetes doesn't mean giving up the foods you love. It means discovering new ways to love them back.